Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with a How To Tuesday series that I am starting on my channel. This series is basically going to be a short video showing you how to do something when it relates to makeup. If you guys have any struggles doing your makeup, comment down below right now and tell me what it is so I can show you guys how to do it. These videos are more like a teaching video rather than just a tutorial. It's going to be a step-by-step beginner's guide on how to do your makeup. For today, I'm going to be showing you guys the question that I get all of the time, especially with my clients. I always get the question, how do I apply eyeshadow? Which, as a makeup artist, I would think would be the most simple thing, but it really isn't to those of you who aren't super, familiar with makeup and how to do color placement and how to blend it out and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that very easily, because I got you, okay? So if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karina. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video, and you also can get your makeup on fleek. So subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a video, and let's get right into it. I am going to give you 3 easy steps on applying eyeshadow and getting it to look seamless and blended out. These 3 steps are going to be super easy. Like, you are going to be able to grasp this. If you do it about 3 times, girl, your eyeshadow is going to be looking bomb.com. And these steps can be applied with darker eyeshadows for nighttime wear or lighter eyeshadows for daytime wear. This is the eyeshadow look that I created, and I'm going to show you guys step by step. I'm also going to show you guys brushes that I think are essential to getting great eyeshadow application and blending. So for eyeshadow application, there are 3 easy steps, guys. Transition shade, which is going to be a shade that you're going to apply all over the lids. That's going to be a shade or 2 darker than your skin tone. This is going to really add a gradient effect to your eyeshadow look and make everything else blend in so smoothly. The second eyeshadow that you are going to need is a deeper eyeshadow to give definition to your crease area or outer half of your eyes. And then you will need a lid shade that can be a matte or a shimmer shade. It really is personal preference, and that shade is just going to bring a lot of attention to the eyes. So for a beginner who is just starting out with eyeshadows, I would do those 3 steps. I'm also going to show you guys eyeshadow palettes that I think are great for beginners, affordable and a little bit more pricier. You could definitely get eyeshadow palettes that consist of tons of eyeshadows, but if you're just starting out, I feel like a smaller eyeshadow palette that has a small amount of colors, basic neutral colors, is really great just to start off, and then you can go ahead and advance to more higher end palettes and more color schemes and go ahead and experiment with that. But if you're just starting out, master the color placement and blending out technique, then branch out. I'm gonna go right into showing you guys what you need to create this eyeshadow look, and also step by step on how to do it. Enjoy. I zoomed you guys really close to my face so you guys can see what we're going to be doing with the eyes, and this is going to be super easy, I promise you. A lot of people get intimidated with eyeshadow application, but once you get these steps down, which are really simple and beginner friendly, girl, you are gonna have some fleeky eye looks. All right, so first thing is eyeshadow palettes. So I have a couple of examples to show you guys which eyeshadow palettes are great to use. If you are just starting off, don't buy the most expensive, crazy colored eyeshadows. You want to go with something a little bit more neutral, a little bit beginner friendly, less colors just to start off with, and then you can expand. So if you are on a budget or you want something more drugstore, then I would say the NYX eyeshadow palettes are really good, but specifically the lingerie palettes. These have amazing pigmentation and the colors are very vivid. The shades are neutral, so really beginner friendly, and then they have some matte shades and shimmer shades, so you can kind of experiment and play around with them. I really love these palettes and I think they work amazing. And now we're going to talk about some brushes that I think are essential to getting a flawless eye look. Blending brushes to me are the most important. I don't really have a lot of flat brushes to apply eyeshadow because I think that using your finger works just as well, if not better. So I invest more in blending brushes because those are what are really going to take your eyeshadow application to the next level. So I have some example for you guys. I have 3 very fluffy blending brushes that are great for the crease and diffusing colors. These 3 are the ones that I go to the most. I got some that are a little bit more pricey and ones that are a little bit more affordable. So the Sephora Pro Crease Brush, this is an amazing brush to blend out your crease and just like soften out any harsh edges. A little bit more pricier than the other ones. Then I have my Sigma E40, which was my first ever blending brush, and I have used this so many times. It's lasted me for years and I love it. Then a very affordable one, which is the Morphe M501. This is another great blending brush, nice and fluffy. The bristles are soft, so it's really gonna diffuse that color and give you a nice soft crease area. So these 3 brushes basically do the same thing, but I wanted to give you guys different price points, okay? So these are really great options. Again, I will link everything down below. Now I have 3 other brushes that do the same thing, look very similar, but different price points for everyone who is on a budget or someone who doesn't really care and doesn't mind splurging. They all will last you a really long time, great quality. These are more for the crease area when you're applying darker shades and you really want to be precise with it. These 3 right over here. So I have the MAC 217, which is super popular with everyone who does makeup. This is great for the crease area. Also really nice to apply shadow all over the lids or even in the inner corner, because these ones are a little bit more tapered and thin. They're not as round and fluffy. They can also work on the lower lash line of the eyes. And then the next brush that I have is the Sigma E25. Again, it's the same kind of concept as the MAC one, but just a different price point. And then we have the Morphe M433 brush. Same concept, will do the same thing, but a lot more affordable. And then last but not least, it's primers or bases. You want to apply your eyeshadow primer or base to help your eyeshadow last all day long and prevent your eyeshadow from creasing. Girl, you don't want to do all that work of blending and apply colors and then in an hour or 2 your eyeshadow is fading away. No bueno. So that's why primers are super important. My favorite all-time primer that I use on every client of mine, especially brides, is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. I have the original one. I know they have a couple of different shades, and they even have ones that are like, they have a shade to them, so they're really gonna like color correct your eyes and things like that. Really amazing quality. This will make your eyeshadow last all day. Like, I'm talking all day long. Amazing. This is the one that I always go to. I have tried a bunch of different ones, but I love this one because it doesn't make the eyeshadow patchy, it doesn't make your eyeshadow crease, it just leaves it in place. So I love the Urban Decay one. And if you don't want to invest in an eyeshadow primer, no worries, you can simply use your concealer. Your concealer is going to work as a base, meaning it's going to color correct, it's going to cover up your eyelid. If you have discoloration, if you have lots of veins or redness, your concealer is going to conceal all of that as well as act as a base for your eyeshadow. I would say use a concealer that has good coverage and doesn't crease too much, that's more on the matte finish side, because if you have a concealer that's more dewy, it tends to move around and crease throughout the day. So I would go with something like the Tarte Shape Tape, which is heavy duty, it sets really well, and it keeps your eyeshadow in place. So things first, we want to prep our eyelids, and I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape. You can always use a primer like I said, but I prefer the Tarte Shape Tape simply because it conceals everything on my eyelids and gives me like a blank canvas. So I'm just applying a little bit of that. You don't need too much of the Tarte Shape Tape because it is a full coverage concealer. With a sponge, I'm going to tap that all over the lids. all the way to my eyebrows. And I prefer to use a shade or two lighter than my skin tone because it's really gonna make the eyeshadows pop. So I'm gonna be using the Lid Lingerie from NYX, and I'm gonna be using this color right over here to set my concealer. So just tap away any creasiness that's going on. I'm gonna grab that color, and I'm using my MAC 217, and I'm just going to press that powder on top. So just really set it nicely. By setting that concealer, it's going to ensure that all your eyeshadows go on a lot smoother and not cling on to any wet patches of the concealer. So now that we have set that concealer, we have a nice, smooth, even application of the concealer and the powder. Everything is nice and smoothed out and ready for an eyeshadow application. So first thing first, you want to use a transition shade. So your transition shade is going to be a shade or two darker than your skin tone because you want to create a gradient effect when you're applying eyeshadow. That's how you're going to get the most smooth looking lines on your eyes, and it's going to blend out a lot easier than going in with a darker shade. And then circular motions. For your transition shade, you always want to go in with a fluffy blending brush. Right now, I'm using my Morphe 502. I'm grabbing that color, just like that, tap away the excess, and then starting from the outer half of my eyes, I am going back and forth until I reach the inner part of my eyes. So right in the crease, and the crease is basically where you can feel your eye socket between your eyeballs and your brow bone. So back and forth. So I do smaller back and forth when I have a lot of product on my brush initially, and then I can go back and forth from inner to outer of the eyes. And you can gradually increase the intensity of the color by grabbing some more from the palette and going back onto the eyes. So back and forth. Anywhere you see that you want it a little bit more smoother, just concentrate your motions in that area. You also want to keep your eyeshadow not too close to your actual eyebrows. You want to give it a little bit of space. And so because my eyebrows are a lot higher up than my eyes, I have a lot of space to work with. So you always want to keep that in mind too, where your eyebrows are compared to your eyes, and just give a little tiny bit of space between the eyeshadow and your actual eyebrow. I find when you do that, it just creates a cleaner look. I'm going to switch my brushes and go on with a smaller brush. This is the E25, and I'm going to apply a shade on my crease area. That is going to be a bit darker, and it's going to intensify the look a little bit more, and it's going to just create dimension on the eyes. I have hooded eyelids, so this step is really important to me just to emphasize where my crease is. You can use the same brush if you wanted to, just use smaller motions when you're applying it, but you can also use this kind of brush that I showed you guys earlier. Because it's a little bit smaller and tapered, it's really going to be precise and not blow up the eyeshadow as the crease one is. So for that darker shade, I'm going to grab this one over here, and as you guys can see, this is a lot darker than my skin tone, so it's going to be more intense. So don't be scared of applying intenser colors. You want to grab the color, tap tap off the excess and go in with smaller amounts at a time. Never put too much because it's easier to add than to take away. So with that brush, I'm going to go right on the outer half. For this, I like to just tap the eyeshadow in the area that I want it to. This is going to be a lot easier than trying to go in and blending it. So tap it from the outer half of your eyes about 1/4 of the way in. And these eyeshadows are super smooth and easy to work with, so they don't create a lot of harsh lines. So I'm literally just tapping that eyeshadow, going back in and tapping that eyeshadow where I want it to be. I just applied it 1/4 of the way in. There's still some harshness right over here. Do you guys see that? We want to definitely blend that out. You can go in with the brush that you use to apply your crease color, and just in that area you want to go back and forth and smoothen it out. So just doing very slow motions. Hold the brush really softly. So you don't want to press it too hard on your skin. You want to just barely touch your skin and go back and forth. So the way you hold your brush is definitely important also. For a smoother application, hold your brush very lightly. And sometimes in the blending process, you will lose some color. So again, go in and apply more. Yeah, NYX Cosmetics, again, another affordable one. The Cosmic Metals and the pigmentation and the blendability on these eyeshadows are amazing. And we're just gonna go in. They have a ton of lid shades here. So I am actually going, let me look at this eye look. Okay, I'm gonna grab this shade over here. So for the lid shade, I personally like to use my fingers. I always feel like I get the best application. So I just swirl my finger, and then I get a little bit of that eyeshadow, and I literally just tap the eyeshadow. I tap it onto the lids. Look how beautiful this eyeshadow is. It's gorgeous. So you just want to tap it. Everywhere else that we didn't have eyeshadow, you want to tap that. If you have hooded eyelids like myself, I take that color just a little bit above that skin that kind of comes down. So when I have my eyes open, you can actually see the color. Not too high, just a little bit, because this is a shimmer shade. You don't want to bring it up too high or the look starts to look messy. Have that transition between the darker shade and the lid shade. I just like to tap back and forth, and it kind of smooths out that line. So guys, that is it for this How To Tuesday video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. I just finished off the rest of my makeup, and I ended up applying a little bit of the darker eyeshadows right in my bottom lash line. So I will have a more advanced version of this video coming out very soon. But I want you guys to comment down below and let me know what are your struggles when it comes to makeup, so I can keep producing these videos every Tuesday and giving you guys what you want to see, and definitely just teaching and helping you guys with the makeup. I don't want you guys to just come on this channel and see a bunch of tutorials and not know the very simple steps to creating them. So that's why I decided to start this series. So comment down below, let me know what are your struggles, what do you want to know when it comes to makeup, and how I can help you achieve that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope that this was super helpful. Please leave your comments down below. Don't forget to share, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.